Hey Algorand, welcome to my channel Solum Algo, where I teach you everything about Algorand. Today we are going to be learning about Folks Finance. We're going to look at the place where you can find the best DeFi yields for your algos and other assets this governance period. Folks Finance is a lending platform, and they're going cross-chain soon, launching a big cross-chain DeFi lending and borrowing platform. And what I use them for right now is to find the absolute best yield in DeFi. This is the first place that I go to look for places to put my money. And I had some people asking, what should I do for this this governance period? And so that's why I'm making this video, is to show you guys my strategy, what I do. Basically, I come to Folks Finance, and at the top you've got deposit, loans, liquid governance, but I just go to deposit here. On the left you have straight lending. So if you've just got a bunch of algos and you don't want to buy or trade into any other assets, and you just want a flat APY for lending out your money, you can get 3.5% on algos. If you have USDC, you can get 9.5%. And if you have Tether, you can get 25% on Tether. So basically, Tether is a dollar-backed stablecoin. I mean, it's asset-backed stablecoin, and it's roughly the same as getting yield on the US dollar. So like right now, a CD might earn you 5.5% on the high end, but if you were to take that same money and deposit it into algos and swap it into Tether USDT, you can earn 25%. And then if you want to be in euros, you can get almost 19% on Stasis Euro. And then the rest of these, you don't earn quite as much, but they're here. And 6% on Sol is pretty good. Those are some of the things you can do if you have one asset and you just want to hold that one asset. But what I like to do is I like to look at the liquidity pools. And the reason I like these, the lending pools, is because these create what's called an F asset. F stands for Folks, and it's part of their lending program. So what happens is you are not just taking advantage of lending the asset, but also of earning yield from the swaps through Tinyman or Pact Finance, and also through the Governance 12 rewards program that's going on this quarter. So on these, you really can increase the amount that you earn. And now these are always changing, and don't expect that, like on this one, that you're going to make 113% for the entire quarter. But I would expect it to come down, and you'll probably still make 40 or 50%, I would think, through the entire quarter. It really is dependent on how many assets come into this pool. But this is what I like to do. Now, I don't hold a lot of stable coins, USDC or USDT right now, and I think that's part of the reason some of these stable pools are doing so well, is because most people don't want to hold stables right now. Everybody's anxious for the bull market to take off, for our tokens to shoot up in value, and they know that even at 113% APR for the year, the odds are good that Algo will more than double in the next few months to year. So it's a hard sell to say that you want to swap from algos into USDC when you could hold algos that have so much potential for value increase over the next several months. That's why this is so high. But if you're somebody who wants to hold USDC, maybe you're from a country whose inflation rate is a lot higher than the US dollar right now, and so you've been buying into algos, into Bitcoin, into crypto in general, to hedge against your your government's currency, you might be in a situation where holding USDC makes a lot of sense and you're not as interested in the crypto asset appreciation. In that case, earning this kind of interest would be a really good way to go, um, by putting your money into the Algorand USDC pool here. Now, what this is, if you look, it is 4.63% made up of lending the assets. So that's just interest earned from lending your algos in USDC, 3.87% from swap fees, and 104% is made up of farming yield. And that is just from the Algorand Foundation has allocated funds through through its governance rewards program to Tinyman and to Folks Finance and to PactFi, and then they have put those into different pools to incentivize people to provide liquidity. Basically, this is being a market maker, is what you are. You're being a market maker, and this is a job that exists in the traditional stock market, and it has for a long, long time. It is a legitimate way to earn money, but this is a newer way of doing it in crypto. So instead of being a market maker for like Microsoft stocks or the S&P 500, where you're taking buy and sell orders on both sides, for various stocks across the stock market, and then getting paid and incentivized to put your money um, into those assets in order to make the market, if you will, to make sure that there's enough liquidity that people can buy and sell different stocks. You're putting your money into these pools so that people have liquidity to buy and sell Algorand and USDC. It's really the same thing. You're just dealing with a different type of asset. And right now, the incentives to do that for any pool related to a stable coin are really high because, like I said, people generally don't want to be in stables right now. So the Algo USDC, if you want to be in USDC, that's a great pool to be in. The Algo Euros is good, but the other thing that you can get into is Bitcoin pairs. So I really like Algo Bitcoin pairs. Man, the yields have really dropped on these. That's the one that I'm in right there, the Algo wrapped BTC pair. That one for Pact and Tinyman. I'm in both of those pairs. And the reason why is because when I think about yield farming or being in a liquidity pool, I always think of not what the yield is, but what assets do I want to hold? No matter what happens, what assets do I want to hold for a long period of time? And so I don't own any Ethereum. I think it's probably a good asset. Obviously, it's the biggest chain for smart contracts. It's the number two player. I just looked at it and decided that I would rather be in other places. So I don't own any ETH right now. I do own AVAX, and I'm in this Algo AVAX pool, and that earns 23.6. There's Sol. If you have Sol, you can bridge your Solana over here and pair it with your Algo, and that's a great opportunity at 28%. And then you can look at the rest of these. But that's where I look to find the best yield. Generally, Folks Finance, this lending pools, is the list of the best yield on Algorand at any given time because you're getting multiple things. You're getting lending, you're getting swaps, and you're getting farms. And that's generally going to tell you where the best yield is. Now, when you click on one of these, I'll show you how this works. It takes you to, in this case, PactFi or Tinyman. All of these are Pact and Tinyman. That's who they've partnered with. So I'll show you this one on Tinyman because I'm in this one. So you go to deposit, and it takes you to the pool where you can deposit on Tinyman. And it shows you the yield breakdown. There's always a discrepancy between Tinyman and folks and PactFi and folks, but you can see the breakdown of the yield there, and you can see the TDR number 12, 28.7%. That's the governance period 12 rewards. And the lending APR 1.76, and the swap FWBTCF Algo pool 1.45%. That's what that's made up of. So to get into this pool, all you would do is come here and click Add Liquidity. You will want to already have some wrapped BTC and some algos. And so you want to add those in there. And once you've done that, you can add liquidity. Except I don't have enough. But that's really all there is to it. Once you add the liquidity, you can sign the transaction, and then you'll add it to the farm. And I'll show you all another video down the road how you use Tinyman to do that. I have a previous video that shows PactFi. So if you go into a PactFi pool, you can look at my video there and see how that's done. It's basically done in the same way. But that's all I have today. Take a look and join one of those pools if you're unsure what to do with your leftover algos that are just sitting there not doing anything. Thanks. Take care.